Hello everyone, welcome back to Challenger League Season 12. We're here for the final race of this first half of the season, and we return to Uruguay for our race here in Montevideo. Got 3 laps of qualifying awaiting us in our now traditional CL format. Just one session of qualifying determining the grid for the feature race, and the top 10 getting flipped on its head for the sprint. I'm joined by Kubo today. How are you feeling about this event?
I think it'll be a very chaotic wheel-to-wheel race here today. Lots of action. I hope for.
So the driver's just rounding that long final bend. So 6Y at the moment are drivers leading the drivers championship. He's only on P5. Flicks, who won the JL race just half an hour ago now, is topping the timing sheets with a 31.52. It's a little bit slower than the time actually put in qualifying for that race, of course. So there's definitely time to whittle down. Following Casillas.
Tempo's going quick. Tempo
is going quick. Ooh.
Ooh,
6Y
look
goes
at that.
quicker.
6Y.
A 31.42.
Tempo on the front row, though.
Pole. Himpo, yeah, on the front row. Good to see him. Girouni in P4 as well. Luso Britannica's looking quite nice as well. This will be a big chance for 6Y to build an even bigger gap as well. His biggest challenger for the title at the moment, Figueroa, is not here today, and Rams is a long way back.
Yes, and it's
P5.
It's also an issue with constructors.
Yeah. Well, it looks like 6Y will hold on to that provisional pole. And it will be pole position.
So a lot of switches there in position, let's see.
Yeah, a lot in the middle. We have a 3-way tie for P8, but it is 6Y in P1. A 31.42, good enough for pole position. Himpo will line up on the front row with a 0.48. Good result for him. Flicks in P3, continuing that strong form on this track we saw in JL. Urist will round out the second row, tied with Girouni. So we'll see if 4th and 5th gets delegated like that. Rams alone in P6. Good, solid qualifying there. Ethan in P7 with a strong result. The HPT 7 and 8 at the moment, as we have a 3-way tie for P8. Existent, Nakes and Guzman 8, 9 and 10 on our timing sheets. Outside the top 10, Rusky and Gorlomi round out the 6th row on the grid. 11th and 12th. Goose in 13th, subbing in for the Riker Autos today. Bonnie Oates James for the Bobcat in P14. Bubbles in 15th, and it's Casilla, Axperio, and Tolley, the last-minute reserve, rounding us out for qualifying.
Yeah, this could be a very important race for the constructors' title. The Riker Auto Complete lineup unable to attend, both Matty and Figo, so 2 reserves subbing in. Meanwhile, LBR and VO were very good positions to start off with, so we'll see how the race goes for those 3 teams who are currently in that top 3.
Yeah, there's a big chance for VO to really gain a lot of points on Ricker Auto. That 2-6 can become quite something fruitful in the feature race. Of course, with the sprint flipping the top 10 around, it'll be Guzman and Nake starting on the front row there with 6Y and Himpo in the middle of the pack. So we'll have to see if those 2 drivers can get their way out of the midfield and back to the front. We have got, I believe, 12, maybe? I can't remember off the top of my head how many laps. 11 for Montevideo laps for our sprint race, and 30 later on for our feature. So yeah, we'll catch you in just a moment, see how that goes. And
Here
we're back.
we go.
It is 5 red lights and underway. X6 will lead us off, and he cuts turn 1 quite tight, but Nakes finds a way around him. The Australian leads as we exit turn 3, but X6 is going side by side. The 2 leading us away. Nakes tries for a switchback there. It's not going to work out. X6 into the lead. Oh my goodness. What have you seen?
Some chaos in the back.
Oh, there's always chaos in the back. 6Y really falling away.
Oh,
Gorlomi making a huge charge into that hairpin. Bubbles, Ethan, Kassir finding some grass there. Maybe a few...
I think it was Game on Goose.
Well, Goose is now at the back of the field
Who
alongside
had the brunt
Experial.
of it, and now he's down in 16th.
Yeah, oh my god, that massive battle for T2 is X6 Existence just starting to run away now. Next holding on to P2, but he's gone wide into turn 4. It gives an opportunity to Rams to make a move here, and he's through into P2, but Next has better speed through that section of the track there. Guzman gets through on both Next and Urus, going a little wide on that corner. It is, it's looking tight here.
Hits the inside.
Guzzi hits the
Urus
inside,
into
Urus
P3.
into P3, yeah. Quite tight here, but it's X6 running away. 2 seconds in front already.
Got
Rams.
3 wide.
Oh my goodness.
Nakes, Gorlomi, and 6Y went 3 wide on turn 1.
Yeah. But it's a big fight for P2 here. Nakes with a bit of a bad line there. Knocks Gorlomi wide. There wasn't really too much he could have done
Rams
there.
is escaping now. Urus leading this pack off. Rams starting to escape just like X6 has so far. He's just got to focus on driving cleanly, and he'll be able to deliver quite a good race
Say that,
finish.
but Guzman's getting in that spot here. He goes wide. Girouni tries to find an opening, doesn't really make it work. It's both Girouni and 6Y following these two drivers in. Urist tries to make that corner as tight as possible. He's looking quite fast here, as Guzman's struggling to keep that slipstream along those corners. Urist making a mistake though on that chicane.
Ooh.
But it is Rams running away in P2. Oh, big mistake from Urist.
Really
Guzman goes
inside.
through into the podium positions, and 6Y follows him through. Oh my god, that's a lag rocket just waiting to happen. Looks like both drivers have break out of it though. Good for them. 6Y finding some trouble in the opening corners. He's back down into P6. Guzman leads this pack, but it is X6 actually getting caught a little bit by Rams now. Gap's fallen by about half a second. As Rams seems to he definitely wants this win, and it's looking quite good for him. He's a little over a second away from Guzman. He makes a mistake on the outside of that final corner. It lets
Chaos
Urus back
at
in.
the other end.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Who is that going slowly?
We've got Gus and Hempo and Keys Hempo very far down, so is Gorlomi. Something must have happened to them.
I think Bunyo's James actually dropped off quite a lot there too. He was the one slowing down in that penultimate corner there. Girouni and Guzman now fighting for P3. Guzman has the inside into turn 6. It's looking
Urist is
nice for him.
also
Urist,
involved.
yeah, it's still these four sitting quite tight together. And Rams isn't really running away either, so yeah, that's quite interesting.
He's just enough ahead to not be involved in a constant battling. Same can be said for X6 at the current moment, but they're slowly catching up to those two drivers at the top.
Yeah.
That is going to be concerning for
6Y
Rams.
wide. Girouni gets punted by Guzman. 6Y going into the grass through that. It's quite tight between these four still. Urist getting through into P3 as now, but he's again made a mistake into the chicane with that relatively poor line. It's just the constant it's the constant battling, and they're
not working together.
And it's really affecting everyone's lines,
managed
and
to escape.
Slowing up. It could be a lot. They could be catching up to the top two a lot faster than this, but they keep compromising each other's lines over and over again, and it's really not letting anyone in this group really fall back. But yeah, Girouni, 6Y now in 4th and 5th. The teammates, will they work together? Will Girouni let 6Y through? It doesn't look like he will now, as we are entering. We're just finishing now, lap 8. Rams is actually into just within a second of X6.
Girouni makes a mistake.
With 3 laps to go. Girouni does make a mistake. He's down in a P6. Urus tries to work on the outside of X6, backs away nicely. It's just a little bit of smarts there from the Portuguese driver. He goes really wide. Both him and 6Y. 6Y cops the brunt of that there. Guzman through again into P3. And it's just chaos between these
Risky starting to catch this pack now. Risky and Ethan and Flex.
Yeah, they're relatively working together a lot better than the drivers in front of them are. And Risky is letting both Ethan and Flex back into this. Next now in running in P10 ahead of Goose, Gorlomi, Bunyo. It's James! A little bit of a rocket there. James is off. Gorlomi following behind him still. Cassia, Bubbles, Himpo now in P16. Then it's Axperial and Tolly rounding out. But X6 is still quite a ways away. Rams is not really catching anymore. He's fallen away
No,
from
he's
the last straight.
he's lost about half the gap. He's doubled the gap X6 has to Rams
Yeah.
behind. Must have
And
been some
Six
mistakes
Y
from
tries
Rams
a
seen it
tight
here and
line
there.
here. He's going to have the inside on the final corner, but does turn to the outside into turn 1. Guzman has that inside line, and he'll hold to the 6Y, making a really tight overtake through the inside of turn 2 and 3. He's got the inside into 4 now, and it looks like he's throwing a P2. Guzman still wants to fight this. Urist as well is shark in the water, hoping for any bites now, sitting in P5. And Rams is making trouble
Would
here.
this be...
Oh, Urist falls away too. Jaruni's going to get him. Rams is actually falling away.
Would
This
this
might
be
be an opportunity
Matcher's
for
first ever win?
Why to make it? Yeah. Matcher's first ever win. X6
X6
tops us away, and 6Y actually beats Rams to the line. Wow. Guzman in 4th. Urist and Flicks rocketing into the finish there. I'm not sure what happened there, but it will be Rusky in between them in P6. Flicks, Jaruni, Ethan, Nakes in 10th. Golormi, James... Then it's Goose, Himpo, Bubbles, Kisiak, Perio, Toli, everyone finishing this 11-lap sprint race. Wow.
That was quite something, really. Not a lot of cooperation between 6Y, Urist, Guziman, and Jaruni. None of them willing to stay behind and let just one of them catch up to Rams and X6. And in the end, that really helped X6 get the win here.
Yeah. Crazy to think as well, X6 running away from the very start to get that win, but the gap between P2 and P8 being less than 3 seconds is quite marvellous. 6Y edges Rams to the end there, taking P2 and the fastest lap. Rams will hold on to P3 though, ahead of Guziman, Urist, and Rusky in P6, then it's Flicks, Jaruni, and the Heritage performances round out the top 10, Ethan ahead of Nakes. Golormi in P11, then it's Bunny, it's James, Goose, the first Rika auto to finish. Then it's Himpo, Bubbles, Kisia, Axperio, and Toli. So yeah, massive result for Mazda Motorsport. They will love the amount of points that that P1 gives them. The first win on the board in their first season. And here we are for the feature race. We've got 30 laps leading us away. 6Y, the lights are out, and away we go. Himpo has the inside, but 6Y makes an excellent move there. Excellent start from him. Himpo is side by side, starting on the medium tyre. They'll have a tight entry. They both go super wide. Oh, wow. Massive mistake there from both drivers. Next going hella wide into that late turn into... It leaves Jaruni and Flicks to lead the race now. That is quite the unexpected start to this race. Urist in P3. Himpo is recovered somewhat. He's sitting in P5 now. 6Y is now at the edge of the top 10, battling with Bunyot's James, and oh my goodness, this tight field is just getting even tighter now. Bunyot's James finds a lot of trouble out of the exit out corner. He's in a bit of a battle with Xperia and Bubbles. They all go wide. Bubbles has fallen all the way to the back of the grid now. But it is Jaruni and Flicks leading us away. What an insane start.
I saw Kieser take the runoff there to avoid a crash. That was pretty smart. You've got a lot of runoffs here at certain turns, which you could take potentially for situations like that.
Yeah. It's but the start really not going 6Y's way now. He's having to fight Guziman in that battle for P5 at the moment. Himpo is down to P10, fighting Nakes, who finds the barrier actually, and enters right in front of Bunyot's James. It's not a great start for the Australian, and he finds even more grass, and Bunyot's James again finding himself off the track. That is definitely not the start he was after too. He's sitting in P13 now, as Jaruni is starting to really exert his muscle a bit. He's a second ahead of Urus now, as I believe Flicks fell away a little bit from P2. But he's still in that fight though. He's on the slipstream of the Bobcat. Followed by
Flex and
Guzman
Urus were battling a bit.
Yeah. Guzman and 6Y as well are catching these two. So every chance for the championship leader to get back into this fight for a podium position. Golormi in P6, and it's Rams. Rusky, the highest running driver at the moment, who's not on the softs. He's on the hard tyres as we enter lap 5. X6 in P9, followed by Goose and Nakes to drivers with quite a bit of ping from other sides of the world. Himpo getting in that fight as well. Won't be able to make too much of a move there. Goose is the inside into that hairpin there. But he makes no mistake through the chicane. And around the hairpin he goes. Himpo into the top 11 now. But Goose gets back through as Himpo makes a mistake. No pit stops yet. Entering lap 6 for the leaders. Jaruni with a about 2.5 lead on the chasing pack. Whoa.
Whoa, 6Y and Urist in a bit of a lag rocket, a bit of a just forcing wide, and that really cost Urist here.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's shaken his focus as well.
We'll have to see what he goes for now. That the softs are really going to start dying out as we enter lap 7. It is 6Y in the podium positions now after that incident. Didn't really catch that on my screen, unfortunately. We've got Guzuman following on that slipstream. Then it's Urist and Golormi now, going side by side through these turners. Urist making an early break, and it's going to help him retain the position.
Golormi saying S, not sure.
Yeah, but Golormi's lost the slipstream now.
Slip Urist. Yeah.
Rams falling into his clutches now. Rusky and X6 also in that fight. It's looking like Rams and X6 going to follow Golormi and Guzuman into the pit lane for the to be the first ones to make a stop. Guzuman comes out in P9. Golormi, Rams on the mediums now. X6 is going to try and get past him. Cassia coming out just behind them. He's still on those medium tyres. Bonyo, Ethan, Bobbles, and Axperio are the ones to make that stop. Jaruni is in on lap 8, and Flix is going to follow him through. 6Y is actually staying out for a 9th lap on the soft tyre. And so is Rusky's on the hards. That's a bit of a different story there. Jaruni in on... and he's just going to get right past Rusky now into the net lead of the race. Rusky is going to try and hold on to that slipstream, though. It's going to be really pivotal if he can make this strategy work out. 6Y is brave going on those 9-lap-old soft tyres, but he is losing time to Jaruni now. The Luso Britannica's 1-2 will slowly come to an end as 6Y makes his stop now. Rusky will follow through into P2. It's Guzuman. Goose now in that slipstream, and so is Himpo. Both drivers haven't made a stop. They're on lap 10 medium tyres, and Goose is going to really benefit from this slipstream now. So is Himpo. As Guzuman actually gets quite a lot of distance on 6Y on that undercut, and the medium tyre runners are not going to be too helpful for 6Y now, as Himpo finds a bit of grass. 6Y tries to make a move on Goose. Doesn't quite work out. He's still behind the Canadian.
Ooh. If Goose had went into the pits there, that could have been bad.
Yeah, that could have been catastrophic for 6Y there. Looks like Goose has maybe saved his skin quite a little bit by just ducking out of the way. Urist and Rams actually going super wide on turn 3, and they've both lost a heap of time. But it is Jaruni now absolutely running away with this race. The Belarusian, who's had a few doubts lately over his recent form, is really showing what he came here to do, regain that spark of pace that he entered UL with about
yeah, it's very interesting. I would say, oh my god, look at 6Y's time!
Oh dear. That is quite a lot of slipstream he's gotten there, and he's back. That's crazy. Guzuman had such a huge gap on him, and it's just gone. It's just completely gone. Flix in P3
I think he must have.
As well, so
That is the world record.
That is the world record and then some. I don't think I've ever seen it.
By 2 tenths, by 2 tenths over Nuno's 31.08. Definitely got some slipstream there. Also, probably just a really good lap from him. Avoided trouble.
Yeah, for sure. Rusky now into the pits. He's going to be the last person to stop on the hards. He's going for some medium tyres. He'll be coming out just between Himpo and Game on Goose in P12. But yeah, after everyone's made a stop, running order, Jaruni at 2 seconds ahead of the field. 6Y in P2, holding off Flix now in that PRO. Guzuman and Golormi are 4th and 5th, followed by XX and Urist in 7th, and Rams 8th. Next, Himpo round out the top 10. Rusky in 11th now on those fresh mediums. Bunyots James following him in P12. Bubbles, then Goose 13th and 14th, Ethan, Casilla, Axperio, and Tolley. Interesting race so far, but we'll have to see how the strategy really plays out once the drivers on the softs go for that second stop.
Flex is really exerting pressure on 6Y here.
Oh, 6Y
And I think that's...
Yeah, he finds a bit of trouble on the entry into turn 2. Looks like 6Y is back through, though.
Yeah, it
Flex is not
really
letting this up. This is
Jared.
for a driver who's only just been coming through recently, to be this on the pace is quite nice. Flex has been absolutely, indisputably the best driver in JLs this season, and he's hoping to make himself a mainstay of CL, maybe even push for a title next season, who knows, but he is challenging the championship leader. 6Y is not letting up yet. Jarutny is in for an extra set of soft tyres. He's looking for the 3-stop strategy today, and it's looking pretty good at the moment. He's 3 seconds back on Flix and 6Y. That's going to be cut quite a lot as this undercut gets underway. Urist in P4 now, followed by Rams, Himpo, and Guzman also making that stop. He's on the mediums, so interesting. Different strategy for Guzman today compared to Jarutny. Flix is in on lap 16. It leaves 6Y out alone in the lead, but Jarutny has already cut that gap in half. Wow. The undercut looking quite strong for him. Yeah, Urist making the mediums work out. He will need to stop again, but maybe it's a hard tyre stint to make this a 2-stop for the Portuguese driver. Flix is chasing him down on the soft tyres, and it's a bit of a gap to Himpo, Guzman, Golormi, and X6 Rusky following through. Then it's Goose in P10, holding on to that position. Nakes and Rams fighting away side by side. Both drivers have pit pretty recently, so interesting. I think Nakes got the undercut on Rams, actually. And now Rams is really having to deal with the Australian, trying to challenge him through now. He's going to go on the inside into turn 1. And it's tight. Makes is still going to hold on to the position, but Rams has the better exit speed out of turn 3. They're still going side by side, though. And it's still by side, and Nakes makes a bit of an error, though. Gets pushed by Rams' trailer. You can exactly tell, knowing how the high ping works in these situations. They're still battling. We're going to head back to 6Y, who's actually going for the medium, so it is going to be a 2-stop for 6Y. That is quite the interesting decision there. And Urist is not pit yet.
Jera has a bit of an advantage. He was side by side with 6Y when 6Y had to enter the pit, so that undercut really helped him, and he might be able to pull off this free stopper just for his sheer consistency that he's shown today.
Oh, absolutely. But we're going to have to see how 6Y does on that 2-stopper. You're struggling on the tyres at the moment. He's going in for his last stop as well. But yeah, Jarutny now 5 seconds up the road from Flix. It is looking like a Luso Botanica 1-2 anywhere you cut it at the moment, because 6Y is not losing too much time to Flix on the harder tyre, and he'll be having to run these mediums for about 12 laps, actually. Yeah, 12 laps for 6Y.
When is Flex pitting next?
Or would have to see, hopefully around lap 23, 24. 32.18
Looks to
from
be a bit early.
Last lap from 6Y was a 31.73. It's a 4/10th gap from the last, almost 4.5 actually, between 6Y and Flix on the last lap. 6Y is looking amazing on those medium tyres. And he's making that charge, not just to Flix in second, but to Jarutny in first, because Jarutny will have to make every ounce of these soft tyre work out. He's still got a pretty big gap here, and he will have the advantage of soft tyres, fresh soft tyres on the final stint. But, yeah, at the moment, the driver on the pace is 6Y. Golormi in P4 still, just holding off Guzman. He still needs to stop. Guzman will have to stop as well. And all these drivers are actually on similar strategies, sorry. Rams in P7, followed by Urist, who is actually the next driver outside of 6Y who's actually going for the 2-stop. So we'll have to see how Urist can hold on to... how many positions he can hold on to once all the drivers in front stop. Jarutny's actually making that stop now, and he exits just in front of his teammate. So Jarutny's going to have 8 laps on the softs to do. And
6Y lets him pass.
yeah,
He
he
wants
lets
to
him
slap
pass.
on
The
those fresh
teammates
softs.
working together here. 6Y knowing he might be a little bit vulnerable later down the line. But, yeah, it's quite a big gap to everyone around him, I'd say. Himpo, I think, is also going for the 2-stop. He's on the mediums in P9. But, yeah. Gorlomi is the next relevant driver who's made that recent stop. He's fighting with UR2D2 now. And Rams into the pits. Guzman X6 also in the pit lane as well. It leaves Flix with the lead of the race, but he is falling away quite dramatically to Jaruni, who is on his
He
rear
still
end.
has to pit.
He does still need a pit. Jaruni trying to make this pass, this overtake as clean as possible. Jaruni fighting a bit of grass there. Flix still trying to fight this though. He doesn't go in. He's staying out against the two. He's wedged himself right between the Lusa Botanica drivers now. He's really getting in 6Y's way here, and that's not going to help him later on, of course. Flix, he's not racing to
slow them down, I think.
He's a mix of slowing them down and also helping his own chances. He's actually made, oh my god, that is
he
quite
makes a
deadly
mistake,
there.
and that costs 6Y so much.
That
to
is
Jero.
so much time. 6Y has lost to Jero there. That's almost 2 seconds in just one lap.
Flex the insider agent there,
Yeah,
meddling with the LBR plans.
Yeah, but where is he going to come out? He's behind Gorlomi. He's behind UR2D2. But Gorlomi makes a mistake on the pit exit there, and Flix has to concede. He's in P5 and he is ahead of Guzman, so the overcut has worked him out in that mistake. But UR2D2 is heading up this train of cars, and he is on the medium, so he's going to find a lot of trouble holding these drivers away. Gorlomi and UR2D2 rocketing right through. Guzman trying to get through as well, and he does.
Whoa.
Gorlomi just going for a gap that didn't exist there. And he's fallen away. It's Flix, Guzman, UR2D2, 3, 4, and 5. Gorlomi now in the clutches of Himpo, who's on his slipstream. 4 laps to go in this Uruguay Challenger League race. This feature race has been quite interesting indeed. Gorlomi through on Himpo still. X6 trying to follow them, but he's finding a lot of trouble with the grip at the moment. Rams and Rusky also behind, just following through on P9 and P10 here. Then it's next, really in a world of his own, in P11. But now it's James and Goose fighting side by side for P12. Ethan following them. Then it's Bubbles and Bubbles, Axperial, Kissia, and Toli still in the running today. But it is Jaruni. He's made the gap even more extreme now. The gap, 3.8, almost 4 seconds now. Jaruni is not slowing up. And 6Y is finding those tyres not to his liking now as we enter the final 2 laps of the race. He's still quite a long way back from Flix though. And Flix is actually gapping Guzman at the moment. This could be another podium for the JL champion. Anything interesting to note as we close this race out in just about a minute or so?
X6 up to 6 as his namesake.
Oh wow, yeah, he has gone past both Gorlomi and Himpo recently. We'll see how he can go on this final lap. Himpo really struggling on those medium tyres. We'll have to see if UR2D2 can hold on to P5, because X6 is charging quite rapidly at him. But it is smooth sailing for one Belarusian in particular. He's going to return after so long to the top step of CL. It is Jaruni at the Uruguay feature race. He wins for the Lusa Botanica team, and 6Y will make it a 1-2 for the first time in this team's history, and Flix will come home for a podium 2 in a row in JL and CL. Guzman in P4. UR2D2 holds on to 5th ahead of X6, Gorlomi, Himpo, Rusky, and Rams, the top 10 for today. And next, finishing in P11. But now it's James just holding on against Bubbles here. Bubbles has a slipstream. We make one last dash to the line. I don't think it's going to be enough. But now it's James 12th, Bubbles 13th. And it's Ethan, Goose, and Kassir and Axperia with Toli also finishing up their race as well. But yeah, what a race, and Nothing to say but complete dominance there from Jaruni. If it wasn't for not taking the fastest lap, it would have been a perfect result for him today.
Yeah, helped by 6Y getting stuck in the battle, of course, and Flex at the end there, meddling a bit in that fight for the win. But regardless, Jera showed amazing pace, amazing consistency to take the win in the feature today.
Absolutely all smiles at the Luso Botanica Racing team. They extend their lead in the Constructors by quite a lot today, especially with a 1-2 from both drivers showing up when they need to. Flicks in P3 will be absolutely emphatic with another podium finish, this time in CL, I believe for the first time? I'll have to double check that. Yes, it is a first-time podium for Flick, so absolutely good on him for the result. He's impressing everyone in the paddock today, and definitely some UL team owners will be having a look at what he can do for the remainder of the season. Guzman in P4. Another 4th place for him, solid result. Urist with a, I believe, season highest. No, he's finished 5th two times before. Another P5 then for the Bobcat driver. Lovely strategy change at the end there. Was able to hold off X6 at the end. Another great result for the Mazda Motorsport team. That's going to be so many points in their fight right at the back of the field in terms of points. They were tied 8th with PRO for last in the Constructors. They will gain quite a lot of points with that. The VPTs and the Volpiokas will round out the top 10. It's Golormi, Himpo, then Rusky and Rams. Next, with a modest showing in P11. Once again, second feature he's finished in that spot in a row. Bunny James will finish in P12. And Bubbles in 13th. I believe a best result. No, not yet. Not at all, actually. Sorry for that. Bubbles 13th is actually his worst result in a feature this season. So hopefully improving that next season, especially with the... not next season, next race with the mid-season break just on its way now. Ethan in P14. Then it is Goose, Cassia, Axperial, and Tolly. Great showing really for Axperial and Tolly in particular. Axperial's been slowly getting there and almost getting Cassia at the end, even if it was a fair bit back. Totally being able to fill in for the Nordic Blizzard team when they desperately needed it, and his presence will surely be greatly appreciated by the team. But yeah, that is all for this season's 5th round in Uruguay, in Montevideo, and that is it for the first half of the season, and as such we are heading into our mid-season break. So it'll be a week off for all of our drivers, and then right back into it for the second half of the season, starting with the Hungarian C-Prix at Margaret Island. We will join you then. For now, it's been a good one, and enjoy the rest of your day.